Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and I want to talk to you about batteries. Yeah, we all need them.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
Before we get to the main item here, I want to give you a little bit of background. As far as my cameras, my cell phones, I did have a smartwatch. I don't use that anymore because I have a tendency to scratch it up. And laptops. Whenever we're out camping, I have a need to be able to charge those devices while on the go, and I may not be near an electrical outlet. Now, there are times that we boondock, and we may boondock for a couple of nights in a place that I have to run off the RV batteries. Now, I prefer not to run anything off the RV batteries except for the RV. Now, I do have a power inverter that's a 750 watt power inverter that I can connect to a battery, and then at that point I can plug stuff into it. But this is something that I usually utilize in my truck. The thing is if my laptop goes dead, I have to stop whatever I'm doing on my laptop. Or if my camera goes dead, I need to switch batteries, or I need to stop doing what I am doing on my camera until I can recharge those things. If my RV goes dead, our refrigerator quits running because it doesn't have 12 volts to run the igniter to kick on the propane burner. It also doesn't allow us to take a shower because now we don't have a water pump. It also may make us really cold because now we don't have a blower motor or an igniter to turn on the furnace so we can heat up the RV. So I like the two batteries that I currently have to run the RV. Go figure that out. Now, a lot of people has, inverters and power inverters and stuff like that, but they also usually have a couple more batteries and they have solar. Now, the thing is we don't know necessarily if we're going to get into solar with this RV because it is going to dictate that we lay out a pretty decent amount of money to put solar on the RV, and if we sell the RV, to convert all that over, that's a real pain in the butt. So what I've been doing is using backup battery packs. Here I have a couple of examples, and I actually have one on my camera currently helping with the camera's battery because it is a little chilly out in the RV today. I also have this one here, and we use this to charge our cell phones on the go, and sometimes I'll have to charge my battery on my camera if I forgot to bring an extra battery, and this has always done a pretty good job, but we can run it out of juice. So that's why I've got this beast, and this thing here is 26,800 milliamp hours, and again, it's got a couple of smart chargers on it, and we can charge our cell phone quite a few times with this before we have to recharge this. But there's situations that we would like to run more, so that's where this comes into the play. Now, again, if that 26,800 milliamp battery pack did a pretty good job for us, can you imagine what this would do? This has 75,000 milliamp lithium ion battery in here. Now, they're calling it a portable generator. I know a lot of the manufacturers have a tendency to do that. This is not a generator. This does not generate electricity. This converts electricity, this inverts electricity, and it stores electricity, but it does not generate it. But it is sort of like a little portable generator. There's a lot of nice things to it as far as the cables that it comes with and some of the options. Now, I'm going to be straightforward on this and let you know that this company contacted me. They're not paying me. I'm not getting any kind of kickback or anything. This is something that they offered to me to try out and said if I like it, do a review on it or do a video on it and take some photos. And I like it. I like the whole idea of it. So let's go ahead and open it up. And then this is the device itself. Kind of nice. This weighs approximately 7 pounds. I remember reading it was 7.3 pounds. There's a bunch of different ports on here. On the back here, you can plug it into the wall. It takes 6 to 7 hours to fully recharge this, plugging into the wall. You also have this option here to charge it in a manner with some sort of a DC cord. I know that it includes a couple of cords, which it includes this cord, which this is just the standard power cord. But this one here looks kind of unique, and this will allow you to connect it either to your car through your power port, cigarette lighter, whatever you want to call it. It takes about 6 to 7 hours to charge that way. Or if you get the optional 60 watt folding which it folds really flat too. It's not very big at all. Solar panel, it takes about 10 to 11 hours for it to charge that way. Now, I'm going to tell you, you better be out in the desert to get that many hours of bright sunlight to charge it, but over a couple of days, you could top it off for sure. And they include the cord for that too. The cord that goes into this for the solar has those MC4 connectors on it, which I guess are pretty popular with solar panels, so you can just plug it in. Now, that's with a 60 watt panel. They also offer a 100 watt panel, which if you have a 100 watt panel, holy cow, I bet you it would cut that down to about 6 to 7 hours recharge time. Now, in front of the device here, a lot of different banks, I guess you can say. This one here, they give you a cord for these three, which let's show you those cords real quick. There's the cigarette power cord, whatever you want to call it, the power point. This is this standard plug in the wall type thing. You know, everybody's seen those if you've worked on anything that is computerized. And then this is the solar with those MC4 connectors, so that plugs into the back of the battery bank, and then you have these two connectors so you can't get them mixed up. Again, that charges in 6 to 7. Again, with a 60 watt, they're saying 10 to 11 hours to charge. Then they give you this cord here, which I would assume that it's for devices that are specific to this brand, which again is Rockpals. Now, also they give you a little instruction booklet. Basically on their website they talk about quite a bit of stuff, and it's pretty explicit. I'll put a link to their website down below because you guys are going to get a discount if you use their link. Again, I'm not getting any kickback from this, but you guys will. Also, I'm going to give you an Amazon link down below, and I'm going to give you a code for that too that will give you a discounted rate on this direct from Amazon. So you can buy from Amazon or from the website, and you're going to get a discount on it, which is great. I'm really happy that they stepped up for that. In their website, other than being able to shop around, again, you can look at their solar panels and you can look at the other stuff that goes along with this. It says you can run a 32-inch LCD TV for 4 hours. That's not a small TV. 32 inch is a pretty good sized TV. I don't even have but a 48-inch in my living room at home. And I've had that for years now, since they came out. I mean, I paid $1,000 for it when it first came out. That's how old it is. So 32 inch, that's too big for this RV. I probably only want maybe 26 inch at the biggest. As far as your smartphone, it's all going to depend on what size of smartphone you have. You know, I have a Note 9 and I have an S8, and I also have a couple of Motorola's that we use for security, and I'm sure those Motorola's can be recharged a bunch more times than my Note 9, because that battery in the Note 9 is pretty big. The other thing is, not familiar with, is drones. It says it can charge up to 10 times or just over 10 times. Again, I'm sure it depends on the drone. You got those little mini drones. I'm sure you could charge those probably 20 times. But like a big DJI Phantom, I don't know. It may be maybe 10 times. And then the one thing that's really important that they stress on here, and I definitely want to talk about, is CPAP machines, because I know there's a lot of you that are out there RVing that do have a CPAP machine. Now, in this case, they recommend, and I would recommend too, that you get in touch with your CPAP machine, the manufacturer, whoever put it together for you, because they've either already offered it and it came with the CPAP machine, or you can purchase it separately to where you can run off of 12 volts. You can run your CPAP machine off of 12 volts. If you can get that from your manufacturer, which again, I don't think that there's any problems with that, because they make a lot of them that you can plug into, you know, an adapter like this, so you can go into a power port, a 12 volt power port. If you can get yours and plug into this, this will run over 4 nights, 4+ nights you're going to get out of this running your CPAP machine. Now, if you don't want to buy that adapter and all that stuff, and you just plug it into here, you're going to get a reduced amount of time. You might only get maybe 2 days out of it because the conversion that's required to go to AC voltage and then power that CPAP machine, there's a lot of loss there. So if you can run the 12-volt adapter direct into here, again, 4.5 days. Now, one of the things I'm really impressed with is the display, and I don't know how much is going to come up on camera, but we're going to try to get you a little bit closer here. Now, as far as the build, we got a plastic all the way around. It is very sturdy. This thing feels like a battery. It feels like a brick. It feels very sturdy. It's got rubber feet on the bottom, and also offered is a couple of lights. I'm sure this is messing with the camera big time. These are bright LEDs. These are not dim at all. I don't want to look into them because it puts a blue dot in front of your eye when you do. But let's get the camera a little bit closer so you can see some of this display. So there's some glare on here from some of the lights. Yeah, that's for sure, but you should still be able to see this. Now, of course, whatever you have plugged into here, if you turn that on, you can see the display. It's got basically the status of the battery, and it's showing what it's doing. It's showing what the output is. Now, if you plug something in here, of course, it's going to continue to show you how much is being used. Same with this bank here. Again, they give you a cable here that's direct for this. I don't have anything going on there that I'm familiar with how that connects or what it powers, but I'm sure there's some accessories that are direct this size. Now over here, these are pretty straightforward. You got 1 amp / 2.1 amp USB. This is kind of like a slow charge. This is kind of like a safe charge. And then down here, this is saying 3.0. I don't think that that's saying it's 3 amps, but it could be. And you can see that it has the blue. Well, usually that's the SS connections on your computer, which is a smart charger. I don't know if this is a smart charger, but it could be, because I plugged in a battery bank into this at one point and recharged it, and it shut off on its own. Anytime I charge that battery bank any other way, it just continues, you know, to charge it until the battery turns itself off. But in this case, this turned it off. So I can believe that is a smart charger. Then finally, the one that I'm going to be utilizing probably the most, the AC connector. I have nothing right now that I can charge anything, you know, my laptop with, or keep my laptop running that's AC powered, unless I go to that power inverter. And again, you can see the status. Everything is really nicely displayed. What I'm going to do to experiment with this is something that we actually needed at one point in our travels, and that was before we bought a generator and before I set it up to mount on the tongue of the trailer here. We were in Kentucky in some really hot weather, and I ran into Walmart and just bought this little battery powered fan. It worked. What I'd rather have done is just plug a fan in. I don't even care if it was a small desk fan, and run it off of a battery that would have lasted a little bit longer, that put out a little bit more air. So that's what we'll do. We're going to get ourselves a little fan. We'll plug it into this and we'll run it, and we're going to find out how long it lasts. So we're going to do that from a different location. Kind of a surprise, huh? What location is it? Well, 3, 2, 1.
At the beach. That's where the secret location was. So we were hoping to go down on the beach and actually run this thing through its paces with the laptop, but we did try it out here at the campsite, running the laptop, and of course the laptop battery was charging and stayed maintained. At that point we just shut it off because, again, the battery's doing most of the work there on the laptop, the onboard battery. So we wanted to do something that would work this thing a little bit harder. So I got a fan that we use inside the RV, so we brought it outside here. It is a little chilly. It's about 40 degrees, 47 degrees today. It's not crazy warm, but it will give us an idea of what this thing will do as far as running a fan. Let me show you. All right, so this thing is fully charged, and this is a 1 amp motor that's in this. Now, I'm not going to put it on 3. That would drain it extremely fast. I'm going to put it down on 1. That's what we usually run inside the RV. So if we were in, again, a real hot situation where we needed a fan to blow on us, that's kind of what I'm simulating. I want to see how long it lasts, and we're going to see what kind of drain this thing is. So you can see, plugged in, I'm at 12.4 volts. The battery's fine. The voltage is going out. So let's just go right to 1. And you can see the draw is basically 0.70 watt.
and 116 volts, and the battery's at 12.3. So what we'll do is we'll start a timer and we'll see how long this thing lasts. Just to show you, the fan is on. I'm sure you could hear the wind there. So let me start a timer. Right now it is 11:49, and we'll come back when this thing is looking like it needs to be recharged. Here we're at 322, 323, just flipped. So let's go out there and take a look. So this thing is still running. It's showing that there's only 9.5 volts, and the battery, the symbol there, is flashing. It's saying basically this is depleted, and yet it's still supplying the voltage that it needs. I'm going to take the fan, it's on the lowest setting right now. I'm going to put it on speed number 2 and then speed number 3. So let's see what happens. Okay, I got a beep. It's still beeping. Can you hear that? Some sort of a warning. And then let's go to 3. Huge draw. I mean, we're almost, wow, that's a huge draw. But I am getting a full speed out of this. This is definitely blowing on 3 out here. Wow, this thing's pretty incredible. So I brought it back inside the RV just like you expect. All I got to do is plug it into the wall, and you can see charging up. So it's going to tell me when I'm fully charged, and I can go use it all over again. So what's my thoughts on this? Well, we have a tendency to use a lot of electrical components, as you can tell. One of the things that I may have an issue with, if I didn't want to wire it that way, is the Wii Boost for my signal. What I could do is use the kit that Wii Boost gives you to wire this into the 12-volt receptacle that's over on that wall there to allow me to run it off of the batteries that's inside the RV. However, I could, if I wanted to make it simple, just keep this plug here on the Wii Boost and plug it directly into the Rockpals portable battery. And I think that's probably the best thing to do. So it'll come in handy. I would think if we were in the situation like we were a few years back, where we had a pop-up camper and we only had a single battery, or even this RV when we had a single battery, we stopped at a lot of locations that didn't have electrical hookup, and this would have made it nice because we would have nice clean power coming out of this to run our laptops instead of running on those old inverters that were in our old Apache pop-up and our old StarCraft pop-up. Even the inverter that was in this one, even though it was supposed to be pretty clean, wasn't something that I felt real comfortable with running our laptops. I know that for us, it'll be nice to run stuff out of this instead of plugging into the truck. It'll free up a port. So again, it's a Rockpals 300 watt. It's pretty much brand new on the marketplace as of filming. So click the link down below and get yours right away. Oh yeah, and there's one more thing. I wanted to let you know that we have a special offer that's being set up by Rockpals. And if you click the link down below, it's going to be an Amazon link. And if you use the code that is in the description, which I'll also put in the video here, that code will get you $20 off the current pricing. And also, if you'd like to go through the Google site instead of going through the Amazon site, I'll have a code for that also. Again, in the description, and also, again, for $20 off. So a special offer's been set up just for you. Click the link, put in the code, get some money off. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Bye.